Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Claire Howard. If you are new around here, if you're a returning viewer, then thanks for sticking it out and thanks for coming back, because I know I promised to be here weekly and for the last 2 weeks I've been missing in action. So we will get into it and I will chat about why I have been missing for the last 2 weeks, pretty much because I've just been not so great. But anyway, I'm going to do a little spend the day with me vlog today. I did return to Slim and Wild after 2 weeks off, which was what I was going to talk about later. So I've had 2 weeks off plan because it was half term and Mark was off and the kids were off and we had some lovely days out together. I just didn't do the whole Slim and Wild thing. And then you know what it's like once you've had a bad week. That is the crutch is how quickly you pick it up again. I did have another week of planning to be on plan but not really getting back on plan. But I went to Slim and Wild last night and I am actually half a pound down still, which is quite good considering obviously I have been going out and about. However, I do think like even when I'm not on it, I have been cooking my evening meals and stuff to be Slim and Wild aligned. It's just the rest of the day. So I am gonna fast forward in a minute to this morning because it has been requested a few times for some makeup tutorials. So I'm gonna do a little get ready with me. And I have just bought myself out. I'm at Sainsbury's currently. There's a couple of little Slim and Wild things that were mentioned in group last night that I want to pick up, and then I'm going to head over to the range because I need to look for some mirrors for the salon as we're doing a bit of decorating, but also I'm going to pick up some Slim and Wild meals because lunch is one of my real downfalls at the moment, and food for work is something I've been letting myself down on. So come with me, let's have a little look around Sainsbury's, see what's new in, pop over to the range, pick up those Slim and Wild meals, and then we will catch up again later to have a little chat about Slim and Wild, how it's going, what I think I need to do to improve and get going forward, because I'm just finding it so hard to get my head in the game at the moment. In the past, I've been really good at this. Once I'm on it, but I'm just not getting to that on it phase. And you know, we all have times like that and it's never straightforward, I guess. If we all done it so straightforward, we'd all be fine, wouldn't we? But life has ups and downs and hurdles, and those are the things we've got to get across, isn't it? So anyway, let's go take a look around. Right, let's get on with this makeup then. I'm just going to get my hair up out of the way. Apologies for the small screen. I filmed in the wrong direction. My skin's been pretty terrible recently. Great makeup base is essential. I've really been enjoying using this grippy Maybelline primer. It's like a serum primer and it doesn't leave the skin too sticky, but leaves a really good layer to adhere your makeup to. I bought some makeup yesterday at Tesco's. I got this Maybelline Eraser Concealer. I don't usually use an under eye concealer, but I'm feeling like I do need a little bit of brightening up. I also picked up the Superstay Maybelline Foundation. Loving the look of this colour. As you don't get to try it in the shop, I'm thinking I've done pretty well on picking up a good match. A lot of the makeup was on 3 for 2 yesterday in Tesco, so I got the concealer, the foundation, and what else did I buy? I replaced my mascara, which you will see in a minute. So I'm happy with that base. I do always set my makeup with a little bit of powder. I've still got this Revolution powder, which I bought a while ago on Amazon. It seems to go on forever. It's just a translucent powder. I don't always do this. Sometimes I use my bronzing powder, but I do like to add a little bit of contour. So I'm using the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which I love. Super easy to apply with a little sponge applicator, and I'm just blending that in with a brush. Then my Illamasqua powder blush. I got this in one of my beauty advent calendars last year. I absolutely love it. I didn't use it much over the summer because I was using a cream blush, but I'm more onto the powdery products now we've gone into autumn winter. Just realised I haven't done my eyebrows. I think doing your eyebrows makes such a difference. I've been using this e.l.f. gel along with the e.l.f. applicator. I like to get a little bit out, pop it on the back of my hand, rub it into my brows, and then brush them into place. I think it makes such an uplifting difference to your face style and your brows. Like, I can't believe I never used to do this. So I'm just going to use a bit of Iconic eyeshadow. I don't always wear eyeshadow, but I just fancied it today. Just going for a little bit of this bronze colour over my lid. And then I'm going to be finishing with my favourite mascara, which I replaced yesterday at Tesco. It is the Maybelline Sky High. I'm loving Maybelline products at the moment. Mascara is in burgundy, which I love. Burgundy is great for making blue eyes pop. And I just think the applicator and the application, the way this mascara goes on, is lovely. It catches the lashes, but it doesn't clump, just makes them look gorgeous and coated and long. Finishing up with the lips. Again, this is a Maybelline lip liner. I think it is called Playful. And then I'm just going to add a coat of gloss. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I've used these in several colours and I do love them. Anyway, time to do the hair and then get ready for the school run and out for the day. Just going for a coffee and a look around the range. So if you want to come and take a look with me, stay around and then we will chat Slim and Wild things later. So let's go and have a look and get these bits and pieces in Sainsbury's. So Sainsbury's is epic right now. Christmas stuff has gone wild. Their clothing section is amazing. So many sequins and some good discounts. I don't think I have ever seen so many pairs of Christmas socks, pyjamas and Christmas jumpers in one place. And the habitat and the Christmas decoration area is amazing. Right, put them down, Claire, and let's go and get the bits that we've come here for and then head over to the range. I'm literally obsessed. I haven't been to the range in like literally years. Their Christmas selection is phenomenal. I am like a kid in a toy shop. I just want everything in here, and the homeware is insane. Just sharing Christmas stuff today though. There's so much of it. Hey, so I am just back from the shops. It is safe to say that everywhere has turned into a magical Christmas wonderland. So much stuff. Like I don't need to spend money on, but if I had it, and less willpower, I definitely would do, but I haven't. I just bought a little Christmas sign. It was called a Noel sign, and no, it was a wooden Noel sign, really quite big. It was just a £5.49 in the range, so I picked that up, which is awesome. Just want to run through the bits that I picked up in Sainsbury's. I picked up some grapes to munch on in the car, but I forgot. But you know, can't go wrong with grapes. I'll have those later. I did pick up some of these wholemeal rolls. I'm going to make burgers for tea, and these ones are Hex B, which is great. A lot of wholemeal rolls aren't always a Hex B. They're like 8 sins or something, but those ones are. Oh, I picked these up in Sainsbury's, little velvet bows. These are actually to go on a garland that I've bought to go in the salon window. Now, we spoke about these in group yesterday, so I don't know what I'm going to use them in, but I picked them up. So they're like thickeners. So you could use this in, say, your gravy with OXO cubes to thicken it up, and it's sin-free. They're sin-free. So you've got a vegetable one and a chicken and herb. So I thought they were quite handy to have in the cupboard. Picked those up. Oh, they had, which they never have in Asda anymore, stag chili. Now, I scanned this, and I'm pretty sure 2 sins. I'll put it on the screen. I love this. Heat it up, put it in my show flask. So I'm just prepping my cupboards with stuff, you know. So those days where I get up and haven't arranged or cooked something, I've got something I can grab, which is awesome. Then, like I said, I'm doing burgers tonight, so I've got some dairy lee cheese slices. I can't remember what these are, but they are low sin. And I've also picked up a couple of these mug shots. I scanned these ones in the shop and they were 1.5 sins. Again, just handy stuff to have around if you're a little bit peckish and you need something to grab and do, nice and easy. I picked up some of these wholemeal muffins. Sainsbury's is the only place that I've found that does wholemeal muffins, and these are a Hex B, and I like to use these to make sausage and egg McMuffins for breakfast. So I might treat the boys to these on Sunday. I love finding Slim and Wild recipes that the whole family love. Nothing makes me more satisfied than cooking one meal that everyone enjoys, because the mum, hate that. Hate it, hate it, hate it when you've gone through the effort to cooking something and everyone doesn't enjoy it. So yeah, everyone loves my sausage McMuffins, and they are low sin. Picked up some Baby Bell Lights. Need to check this, but I think previously it was 3 of them for Hex A, but I will check. I also picked up some Oatly oat milk. Now this is 2 sins for 100 millilitres, or was it 275 millilitres for Hex A? I can't remember, just check on that, don't rely on me for it. And I also picked up some coconut, Alpro coconut milk to make my rice pudding. I got the oat milk because I've got this Space Goods. I've seen this everywhere. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram and stuff. They've got the matcha, they've got the coffee flavour. My one is chocolate flavour, and it is a mushroom and adaptogen super blend. So it's supposed to be for like focus and energy and like mindfulness. I definitely need some stuff to help with my perimenopausal hormone imbalances and things, to just make me feel a little bit more invigorated, energetic, get some balance back in my life, because I'm definitely missing that. So I bought the oat milk because I thought that would be nice to go with this. It says Rainbow Dust is a powerful, potent mushroom and adaptogen blend, chocolate flavour, tastes incredible, works great, feels amazing. And it has got things like lion's mane. There's a lot of mushroom things at the moment, isn't there? Anyway, so I've got this to try. I haven't scanned it yet to see how much it is on Slim and Wild, but it's going to be my new sort of morning wellness drink, if you like. So that is what I got some oat milk for. I did have a Costa coffee. I had a sugar-free skinny caramel latte, so I have used one of my Hex A's up today. I haven't had anything to eat yet. I'm now going to cook some breakfast. Let me show you what I bought in Iceland. I don't know what I've done with my bag. One sec. Here we are. So what did I pick up? I actually went to the range. This is to go on my Noel sign because it's not red. I think that's just gonna make it fit in with what I've got in the salon. And I did pick up 2 new baubles. These are only like £1, £1.59. I thought they were really nice. I did get all new decorations for my tree last year. So we had a bit of a candy cane theme going on, and I love like glass and see-through decorations. I don't know, just do. So what did I pick up? I've got the Cinnamon World 4 salt and pepper skewers. I haven't tried these before. I'm assuming they are sin-free. Most things are when you get them from the Cinnamon World, except the new meals, which have got a healthy extra A in. So Cinnamon World chicken skewers. Chicken carbonara. This is an old favourite of mine. Love that. It's going to be just a good Friday night meal for when I finish work later. Marry Me chicken pasta. Have you tried it? Because everyone's raving about it in group. Apparently it's really, really nice. So I've got that. I haven't tried to make a Marry Me chicken yet, but I need to do that. And I got some of these lunch pots. I love these to heat up, take to work in my show flask, and they're just there for when I'm hungry and I want to eat them. So I've got naked chicken, katsu and rice. As far as I'm aware, these ones are the ones that are sin-free because they don't have like a hex A in. Pasta bolognese is always a favourite of mine. And Hunter's chicken risotto. I don't think I've tried that. This is one of the ones from the magazine where they do the competition and then someone wins their recipe becoming one of the meals. Last thing I've got, which is what I'm now going to do for my breakfast slash lunch because it is 20 to 12, is some Cinnamon World sin-free sausages. So I'm just going to do myself like sausage, egg and beans. Nice, easy, quick fill in. I'm going to put this stuff away, get this made. Then I think I'm going to take the dogs for a walk because it is absolutely beautiful outside today. I went out in my big fur coat, bit much for a coffee on my own and go into the range, I know, but I bought it in Tesco's last week and I love it. And it's one of those things that I was like, if I don't just wear it, it's just going to sit in my wardrobe because I don't go out that much apart from for coffee and to the shops. So yeah, I might have looked a little bit extra today walking around, but who cares? Right, let's get this stuff away, cook some dinner, and then we're going to have a chat about what's been happening the last couple of weeks. I just double checked on this. This one is a free food plus, which means it does include 1 hex A portion, which means I'm all out of hex A's today. Never mind, that's okay. I should have read it. I was looking on it to see if it said it and I just looked straight past that. So yeah, this one does include a healthy extra A choice, but it is delicious. Obviously you could see it if you've used your hex A. So what's been going on? I haven't obviously uploaded a Slim and Well post for the last 2 weeks, and the reason for that is I literally have not been following Slim and Well for the last 2 weeks. I had half term and we had a couple of days out, and then had a week of trying to get back on it but not really doing it. So I've just wiped that slate clean, and then last night I went back to Slim and Well for the first time. I stayed in group because I always find that helps, especially when I need to get back on it. And in group last night, we were talking about sort of what can be our triggers. 1 second, I'm just going to grab a book. So we were talking in group about things like triggers. It was actually a really helpful group. Like I felt like I turned up on the day I needed, considering how I have been. So it is in the Choose Success book, and there are some really helpful things in your little packs. If you ever do get a spare 5 minutes, these packs, we do tend to get them, I don't know about you, and then just pop them on the side and not use them. But there are some really interesting things to read through and things that can be quite helpful. So this one is take 5 life-changing minutes to ask yourself, what are my trigger foods, what are my slim and danger zones, and what are my less conscious self-sabotage traps? Now, a lot of these apply to me right now. So what are my trigger foods? At the moment, so the list is like wine, beer, bread, chocolate, crisps, nuts, pastries, cakes, and cheese. Now, I'm going to tell you, at the moment, wine has become a bad habit of mine. I've snuck in, you know, getting a bottle every couple of days, and we'll have a glass in the evening, be it a weekday or the weekend. Now, this is bad in general. I shouldn't be drinking on a, you know, several daily basis. It needs to go back to weekends. So that is one thing. And the thing is, once you've had a little glass of wine, you often fancy a little packet of crisps or a little chocolate bar to go with them. So wine can trigger, or alcohol in general, I find can trigger us to want to binge eat and then not feel so great in the morning and not make the right decisions. So yeah, that is one of my triggers. At the moment, chocolate is a big trigger of mine. Like, the boys have a drawer full of snacks, and there are things like Penguins, Kit Kats, mini bars like that. And I am definitely better not to touch those at all. I was speaking to my sister the other day, and she was talking about, like, she'd bought some little mini twirls to go in the cupboard that, like, I don't know, 5 cents each or whatever. However, you have one, and I don't know about you, but once I've got that chocolate taste, I just want it to keep going. So I keep eating it. So unless you are someone who knows you can stop at one small chocolate bar, maybe that's something we should knock on the head as well. And that's just like another thing coming up to Christmas as well, isn't it? When you've got little packs of celebrations and things about, they may only be a couple of sins each, but they're literally a mouthful, and it's very easy to then have another one or another two or another three. Maybe not even think about the fact that you've had them and not incorporate them in your sins for the day. So yeah, trigger foods, I do think it's important to read through and think about what your trigger foods are. And for me, wine and chocolate are two of those at the moment. However, if I do prep my food, which is what I'm planning on doing this week, and I have my meals planned, I find I'm full and I'm satisfied and I don't need to snack. I have also got some trip drinks, which I'm having in the evenings. They are, if you haven't seen them, they're about 1.5 to 2 sins per can, and they're like enriched with magnesium and stuff. So just been drinking one at the moment. This one is a new flavour, cherry and lemon, but they are lightly sparkling, no added sugar, magnesium and botanicals. So the magnesium is obviously good for you, help you sleep, top up on that sort of thing. But if you put them in a nice glass, like there's one I really love, I think it's like mint and cucumber or something. I love that in the summer. Put it in a nice glass with a sprig of mint and some ice, and you feel like it's a bit of a mocktail cocktail drink. It feels a bit more special than having a glass of Coke in the evening, for example. So what are my slimming danger zones? I.e., when you go in the petrol station, do you struggle not to pick up chocolate? The corner shop, do you grab something else when you're picking up your groceries? Socialising is always difficult, isn't it? Because when you go out, are you going to want a drink? Are you going to plan your meals? And I think I am one for if you're socialising, especially because I don't go out that often. You know, I'm not out meeting friends every week. Me and Mark don't go out every week. So when I do go out, I want to enjoy it. But if you are desperate for a weight loss and you really want to make sure you get it, then you need to work around it. You need to either sort of plan what you're going to eat beforehand, plan that you're not going to drink, or you're going to drink, say, a gin and slimline tonic rather than wine. Or maybe you're going to be super strict on your sins throughout the rest of the week and try and maybe go sin-free and just indulge on your speed and free food so that you can have some flexi sins and just have what you want when you go out. But it's all about thinking about it, planning it. This is where I've been falling down. I have not been planning or thinking. So without those two things, I think we just line ourselves straight up to fail. So you've got like takeaways. Obviously that is another danger zone, isn't it? I tend to, when I'm on Slim and Wild, if we're getting a takeaway, I try and go for an Indian takeaway and get a chicken shashlik, which is one of the lowest sin ones. Chinese, I'd probably rather cook myself and do like the Mayflower curry. There's lots of things. I have to do like fake away, like kebab style dinners and stuff. So find something that's quite quick and easy, but still satisfying and feels like a treat to have on a Friday, Saturday night. So instead of a takeaway, save some money, save some sins, all of that sort of thing, and still a treat. Then what are my less conscious self-sabotage traps? I.e. when you're upset, happy, bored, emotional, angry, tired, hungover, sociable, undereating, competing, feeling bad after a lapse, putting myself and my weight loss last, constantly weighing myself or setting myself impossible standards. So they are little tick boxes, and there's different things that are going to affect different people. For me, I eat through all of my emotions. If I'm happy, you know, or socialising, like I say, my days out and stuff generally revolves around what we're going to eat when we get there. If I'm happy, I like to eat. If I'm sad, I like to eat. So all of those things, and making sure you've got the food there. So whatever you're going to be eating, it is the right food. And putting myself and my weight loss, feeling bad after a lapse, which is, again, kind of where I've been at the moment. So I've been on a lapse. I've done 2 weeks on and now pretty much done 2 weeks off. And it's very easy to not get back on it. But I do want to lose this stone and I do want to go back on it. So I'm straight back and I am now getting back on it. And that is one, I think if we have a bad day or a bad week, it's very easy to then just think, oh, well, I've done rubbish, so I'm going to leave it. And it continues and it continues and it continues. And then we don't get anywhere. So I think that's quite a good list to go through and just recognise some things in yourself and, yeah, think about it a little bit. It came in helpful for me last night to have a little think about what's triggering me and what's stopping me and what's getting in my way. At the moment, I'm the one getting in my way. Also my hormones are. I did pick up this. I'm going to have a little read through this later. Your weight and the menopause. I've been saying for months now that I'm going to book another doctor's appointment and go and speak about perimenopause. I absolutely think that this is hindering me in like my mood and my thought process and my willpower, because I just, like I say, I can't get myself in the zone. And I think it is just that brain fog and the way I'm feeling a bit up and down with my emotions, which really isn't helping me find my zone. So I'm going to have a read through this, and that is something that I am going to look at, as well as planning my food. So I've got myself through today. I've gone and stocked up my freezer on some Slim and Well foods. I've currently just put a rice pudding in my slow cooker. If you haven't seen, I've got several videos that incorporate the rice pudding, but basically I've used a full carton of Alpro coconut milk, 160 grams of pudding rice, and I'll put some cinnamon in there because I'm going to have that tomorrow morning. Is going to be my breakfast, so I'm going to use that. That will incorporate a healthy extra A for my breakfast without using any healthy extra B's, and I'm going to top it with apple and honey, which is going to be really nice. I'm going to take that to work to have a little bit later in the day, not first thing in the morning, because I'm not that good at eating first thing in the morning before, you know, I'm starting work at 8 tomorrow, so it's quite an early start. So I'm going to take that with me to work. I am also probably going to take my stag chili tomorrow for lunch, or I might, take one of my Slim World lunches that I bought. So I've just, getting those few things in has now given me options for, even if I haven't planned, I've got something in my freezer or in my cupboard that I can grab, which is going to be low sin. I'm making beef burgers this evening. So I am using my JD seasonings. If you haven't seen these before, again, I've mentioned them in quite a few videos and I do love them. So I'm going to make beef burgers, which are going to be sin-free on Slim and Well, because I'm going to use this burger blend, which has no sins in it. These are really handy because they do have a little shopping list on the back of things you need to get, and then they have a little method inside that tells you how to make them. I don't tend to use a full pot whenever I do it, so I get a couple of goes out of each one. They are great. I do have a code, Claire Marie, so you can save 10% if you do choose to order the JD seasonings. Like I say, I use them quite a lot, and I think it's really handy as well if you're looking for some food inspo, because there's loads of different ones, and yeah, just things you might not have thought of cooking. So I'm making burgers this evening, and like I said earlier, I discovered these wholemeal rolls. So I've done burgers before and just done them in a large mushroom or sort of a lettuce leaf wrapped around it, but I do like a burger in a bun, and it's always handy. And this is kind of what has helped me today, sort of getting back into that habit of scanning food as I'm going around the supermarket and finding new things that I can use that are my healthy extras and free foods. Because if we concentrate much more on the healthy extras and the free foods and the speed foods, it just makes life a lot more easy than relying on sins to give us what we want. Because a wholemeal roll, for instance, if it wasn't a healthy extra, would be like eight sins. I would much rather have an option which is a healthy extra. So once I find my things like these rolls, I will start remembering to pick these up whenever I'm in Sainsbury's, and I'll keep them in the freezer. So I'll have my roll out of here this evening. The boys have got brioche buns, the rest will go in the freezer, so that I'm stocked up on my handy options. And it's getting into that swing and making sure you've got things in, just starting to think about your food more. And once you've done that for a few weeks, you'll get on rotation your meals that you like. I was going to make a list and stick it on the fridge of like my go-to Slim and World meals, because I think after, it's probably been, you know, nearly a year since I've been on it, I've got out of the swing of what my go-to meals were. So I need to get back on that. But anyway, that's enough of me blabbering on. How are you guys? Is everyone doing all right? Can you help me out? Can you tell me some of your go-to meals and some of your products? You know, it's really useful for everyone else. So get in the comments, tell us about what your favorite Slim and World foods are, what your hacks are. You know, where have you found brown rolls or brown sliced bread or things that are really handy to get in? Because I do find when I'm doing the best at Slim and World, I have certain things from different supermarkets. So you do have to sometimes shop around and broaden your circle as well when it comes to getting the food in. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you are doing all right and that your last couple of weeks have gone a little bit better than mine. And if they haven't, know that you are not alone. We all have our ups and downs and life that gets in the way. And it's not the falling that matters, it is the getting back on it. We can either leave it and go another 6 months without starting again and we'll get nowhere, or we can pick ourselves back up, write that week off, put it down to experience and get back on it. So I'm gonna give it a go. I hope you're with me, giving it a go. Don't forget, get those foods in the comments, be it tinned food, Hex A's, Hex B's. I need to message my Slim and Well consultant because I've missed the last couple of groups. I've missed the chat about the new plan. Now I've heard a rumour, 2 hex Bs. 2 hex Bs. How amazing is that? Because I would have 2 hex Bs over 2 hex As anyway. Anyway, now going. I will put the burgers up later and show you how I make those. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's do it. Let's make burgers.